Get yourself one of these bracelet cuffs at Hobby Lobby or Amazon and get ready for some jewelry making fun.
Hey everyone, it's Susie Lee with Bellalina Boutique and Totally Dazzled. Come on in. Happy Monday. Make something pretty tonight. Today we're going to be doing some jewelry. We're going to be doing some pretty bracelets. I will show you one that I made some years ago with the Totally Dazzled appliques. And it's kind of shabby chic. That's why I'm cutting off a little string here. But all this is, you'll see on the inside, is this black felt. Now, it's not just the kind of felt that you buy, you know, the soft felt that you buy at the Hobby Lobby in the small 8.5 by 11s. It's this kind. It's the kind that's got some body to it a little bit. It's a little bit thicker. Actually, they used to be thicker than this. I noticed they're getting a little flimsier. But you can still make it work with this. They come like yay long, like I'm gonna say like 18 inches long. And what you do is you cut it to make it nice and straight. You cut it with a paper cutter. Really, you gotta push on it really hard, but it cuts it nice and straight. Well, that's what I do anyway. If you have a better method, if you do it with your straight, you can do it with a straight edge and a cutter if you want. But that's how I do mine. But anyway, what I did was I just cut 2 pieces and I added this wire. Now this wire gets kind of wonky. You can get this anywhere. You can get it at the craft store. You can get it at the Dollar Tree. You can bend it where you want. And so what I did with this was I just bent it to the shape of my arm, and I added 2 pieces of, you can make it as wide as you want, as narrow as you want. I sandwiched this between 2, like this, okay? Just like this. Connected it down here with a little loop, okay? And I sandwiched it between 2 pieces of felt with glue. And then you just go like this and put it like this on your arm. Watch how easy it just takes shape on your arm, like this. And you can make it as tight, as loose as you want. And with a little tiny squeeze, this will always form to whatever arm is wearing it, big or small. So I like that because there's no fussy clasps. That's my kind of deal. See, I can make it nice and tight. And all I did was I took some fabric and I went in and out right in the middle, did a little running stitch, and then gathered it and glued it to the top portion, and then added a little Totally Dazzled applique, which I'm hoping will come back soon in the antique bronze. Hint, hint. I'm just saying, I hope they come back because these were my favorite appliques to use, was the antique bronze. They're so pretty, right? Anyway, I'm not going to be wearing this tonight because it will get in my way. But I wanted to show you that because it's just that easy. You sandwich the wire that fits your wrist in between the 2 pieces of felt, put the gathered fabric on top. Now you can use this, use any kind of fabric. You can use ribbon if you want. It doesn't have to be the shabby chic with the fray on the edge. It can be anything you want. And then add your applique, your favorite applique on top. The smaller ones are great for this. Anyway, whoops, push you back there. But today I was working on another bracelet. And we don't have the silver in right now. We have the antique bronze, and I'm going to be working with that. But I want to show you what I did today. I took one of these from the Hobby Lobby. These little silver, they're little cuff bracelets. They're great because, see what I'm saying? Easy on, easy off. No fussy clasps. These are great. These are my favorite. This is my favorite kind of jewelry right here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I did this bracelet with the antique bronze collection that I picked out a few pieces right here. Picked out some of the smaller pieces because if you look, this is less than 1 inch wide. I think it's 3/4 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, about 3/4. Just a little under 3/4. So what I did was I cut a piece of felt for the inside of the bracelet like this, and all I did was I measured it. Let me show you what I did with my little cutter tool. You're just going to take your little bracelet like this. You're going to take your felt, okay, and get yourself a white pencil, a red pencil. What I did was I used my my friction pen. These little friction pens are great. But what I did was I put, this is a nice perfectly straight edge. I put my bracelet right here at the edge, just like that. And I held it tight with my finger so it doesn't slide around or move, because you want it to be right at the edge. If anything, a hair under, not over, because you don't want to hang it over. Take your friction pen and you go like this, and you make yourself a mark that you're going to be able to see. Okay, now I can see that right there. Then I'm going to put my cutter down right where it cuts on that line. Make sure that it's perfectly even and straight, top to bottom. Then I'm going to push down hard like that. Hear how easy that went through? Boom, just like that. And you've got yourself a perfect strip, see? And this strip, in theory, should fit the top and the bottom. And it does, actually, like perfect. And on the inside, so what I do is I just kind of fold it in the middle and go like this to make sure that it's ever so slightly, this one is actually ever so slightly larger than the other two that I cut earlier today. But anyway, we're going to use the ones that I cut perfectly. I could shear this down just a tad, and I probably will. But let me show, I just wanted to show you how I do it. That's how it's done the way I do it. If you have another way of cutting your felt perfectly straight, see how perfectly straight that line is? I like my cutter for that. Anyway, what I did was I added a beautiful silver piece of Totally Dazzled, show you, in the center with a little bit of hot glue. And how I usually do things, hold on, make sure my dangle's dangling. We want my dangle to dangle. All right, there we go. With a little bit of hot glue and B7000, you can use E6000. I used that for 10 years before I found out about B7000. It's a great product as well. But what I did was I took some of the shaped rhinestones that came in the rhinestone kit. I don't know if it came in the rhinestone kit or if it was separate. It seems like it was separate, but there's all these shapes. You got the square, the round. These are not available right now, but they were. And so what I did was I wanted to use up some of them. I'm hoping they'll get those back too. But in the rhinestone applicator kit, I just took my tool, my rhinestone applicator tool, and my B7000, and I got busy and I just decorated the snot out of it. I just put the pretty one. Let me put it up close so you guys can see. Now I have not shined it yet because I wait for the B7000 to make sure that it's cured and take hold. But look at how pretty that is. And then I went in with some round SS20 and SS16 clear round stones in the little trays, and I just covered it all up in all those stones. Look at how pretty that is. Imagine the bling factor on that when you're out in the sun, right? That would be so pretty. This would be a pretty prom bracelet. This would be a pretty bridesmaid bracelet, bridal bracelet, you name it. It would be great for any special occasion or just for every day if you're feeling fancy. Anyway, I'm going to put a little bit of alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and as opposed to drinking alcohol, because that gets a little sticky. And you're gonna rub it over your bling, because just in case you got any kind of residual on it or whatever, this is going to take it off. It's going to clean it really well, right? And I'm going to do it on both sides. Then I'm going to take a dry spot and I'm going to buff it up. It's going to be so bright and shiny. Oh yeah, got your sunglasses on? I told you, get your sunglasses. Y'all get your sunglasses on, because this is going to be blingy. There. And it really, really, can you see the difference after I shined it up? Wowie wow. I love all that bling factor. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Nice. That's a nice one. All right. So I'm going to put this aside and we're going to get busy making one with the Totally Dazzled that is available. The antique bronze. I'm going to take some B7000. And like I said, this is a little less than 3/4 of an inch, this strip that I cut from that big piece. On the inside, I'm going to take the B7000. What I'm doing is I'm just going in and kind of coloring with the B7000. I'm going to do it on one side, and then I'm going to turn around and do it on the other, just to get a bunch in there. Because this is felt, and the felt that's going to go in here in the felt is, it's porous, and it's going to soak up a lot of this glue. So we want a lot of it on here. And the key is to keep it off the felt and off the front. If you do get any on the front, you can just take it off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol like you saw me earlier. Now these come from Hobby Lobby in the jewelry section. I think it was Metal Gallery, if I'm not mistaken, brand. So what I'm going to do, which I don't usually like to do, is to touch this glue with my finger and just kind of give it a swoop like this and make sure that it's evenly distributed. And then I'm going to take and get it off right away with my alcohol that's on this tissue. And then I'm going to take this piece. Now this is a good long piece, about probably over a foot long. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of bend it in the middle to get it started and get it right in the center there, where I can see that it's perfectly centered. And then I'm going to just push it down all the way to the edge. At the edge of this bracelet, there's a little, it's rounded. And so we're going to trim that. But you want to get it in there really good. And I didn't put so much glue on there that the excess is going to be a problem, right? Make sure that you got it down really good. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Make sure that it's really, has a good seal. Okay, then what I'm going to do is, see how it's rounded at the edge there? All I'm going to do, like this. Another boutique project. Okay, and then I'm going to go just round the form, just kind of follow the edge, follow the Elberg Road, right? And the reason I do this is because it's much more comfortable to have a nice piece of soft felt on the inside. It's lined well, and just feels better and more finished to me, right? So there's that. I mean, you can leave it plain if you want, but mine's boutique-y. just so you know, we got the boutique-y thing going on. All right. Okay, so this one, I'm going to put a top on it, just like the bottom, okay? Because I want this pretty antique bronze. Look at how pretty it shows up on that black. It almost looks like black velvet, but it's not. It's felt, right? It just lends itself to the dark black background or a darker, deeper, maybe jewel tone color, something like that. So that's why I do that. So once again, I'm going to just try to use what I got here. Get it going here. And put it all across this. Just kind of swirls all the way around. And the fabric on the top holds nicer when you're putting jewels on it, when you're putting the antique bronze metal on it. Metal to metal, it takes a minute with the B7000. I like E6000 for things like that though, because, and I don't have any, but the B7000 works well with the fabric. But metal to metal, I would prefer E6000 simply because it's industrial. You can get the industrial one, and I use that for years on my my boutique tennis shoes and stuff like that. So okay, I'm gonna leave a little bit here, so because I do not want to touch this felt and get it goobered up with glue. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get it in the center here. Make sure I don't have any on my thumb. Get it centered, just like that, and go all the way down, making sure that it doesn't overlap. the edge. I mean, it was cut literally perfect. Okay, for this band. And you pinch, pinch, pinch. Okay, so I'm going to just cut this down so that I can, trim it. And now we're going to finish the part where my thumb was holding it. Right at the end, we're going to give it a lot of this B7000, because the felt will soak it all up, trust me. And especially at the ends, you want to make sure you got a lot of glue. Not so much that it's going to ooze out everywhere, but you want to have enough glue that it's not going to, over time, you know, from putting it on and off, that it'll hold well for you. All right, and I'm going to put this cap on here. Seriously, this little one gives me fits. All right, pushing it down, pushing it down. Oh, we got a little glue on it. Now, if that happens to you, you just take your little bit of alcohol on your little bit of paper towel, and you can just, right now, before it dries, it'll come off still with your alcohol. It just kind of like, it kind of gets like rubber, and then it rolls off. Or you can scrape it off with your finger. Perfect. All right, so now I'm going to go in with my scissor, do the same thing. I'm going to cut it right around this edge. Okay. Like that. And this one. And I'm keeping my scissor really close to the edge so that it really takes the shape of the edge. So we got the top and the bottom spot all nicely covered, right? But there's a little bit of silver showing at the edge. That's okay. You're not going to really notice that. If that sort of thing bothers you, I'll show you how to alleviate that with the next one I'm going to do with fabric, where I wrap it around the whole thing and you don't see this part. So if that bothers you, I got another one you can do. Okay, so what I did was I took a bunch of this. So I want to put one big one in the middle. You could just leave it like that. You could just do one big one right in the middle. Or do I want to do all the small ones on the side? What do y'all think? You know I'm gonna do, in about 1 second, I'm gonna make a decision, and you guys are gonna go, but you asked what we thought. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I know. I ask, and then I do my own thing. Big in the middle, small on the sides. All right, Kay. I'm like a decisive woman. Thank you. Okay, I will. Big in the middle, small on the sides. Love it. Okay. Now which big one? I don't even know. Oh, that's so pretty. But it doesn't lay flat. So see how that comes to a point kind of at the back? You need something that's going to be nice and flat or domed. All right, I like this pearl one in the middle because it lays good and flat. All right, we're going to use this pearl one. And I'm going to take the B7000. And right where it lays nice and flat, I'm going to go all around the perimeter right here in the center. A couple of 2-3 times. Give it a good amount. I'm going to give it a little bit of hot glue. Or a lot of bit of hot glue. Let's sit for a minute. Now here's the ticket. I'm going to try and find the exact center here. So it lays nice. Oh, that's pretty. Isn't that a pretty piece? Love that one with the pearl. So vintage looking, right? All right, it's just I'm pushing it down in the middle so it takes hold. That hot glue. Okay, and then I'm going to take these 4 of the smaller ones. I think it'll look pretty with that size. So let's do that. Let's make this happen here. Okay, that's on there pretty good. I'm just going to lay it down there for a second. I'm going to take this piece here. I love this piece. This is gorgeous. It's little, but it packs a punch, does it not? It's so pretty. And I'm just going to go around the edge. There's a hole in the middle here. It's kind of concave. And making sure I don't get my fingers in the glue, I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue in that concave part. And before it seeps through and gets my fingers, I'm going to lay it right here next to. Oh, that's pretty. This looks so vintage with the black background, does it not? So pretty. So you know somebody that's going to prom, somebody that's getting married. This would make great bridesmaids gifts. You know, buy yourself a pack of Totally Dazzled bling or two. Instead of, you know, paying $50 a pop for your bridesmaids, make them something like this. You know, for $50, you can make all your bridesmaids something, right? All right, and then the next one I'm going to put over here is this one, this little pearl one. And then what I want to do is I want to space it just the way I did this one. Not too far apart from the big one. See? Just like that. And give it a push. Hold it. I mean, I like it just with 3 even. You could do some rhinestones down the center. You could do rhinestones at the edge. So many things you can do. You can do the bling on a string, you know, that you get from the Hobby Lobby or Amazon or wherever you get it. And it would be pretty along the side with just the center piece on there. There are so many options, so many ways that you can decorate these pieces. Okay. It's getting prettier by the minute, isn't it? Look at how pretty that is. That's stunning. All right, and then you don't want you slipping. And then the 2 smaller pieces I'm going to put, I think, at the end. Yeah. My squeaky hot glue gun. Okay. And right here at the end, and I'm trying to space it just about where the other one was spaced, just eyeballing it. Okay. Once you get that on there, oh good. This is getting heavy. It's getting to be a weighty piece here. And then you're going to put this one on. A little bit of hot glue in the center. And right about spaced just enough to the edge here. How pretty. So you've got a nice odd number of pieces going all the way across. So, okay, so there we go. Isn't that pretty? All of that beautiful sparkle. Got your sunglasses on? I told you it was going to be blingy. So now, how easy was that, right? Now we got 2 beautiful, boutique-y, totally different. You know, they're the same, but they're different. They're the same, but they're not, right? This was put right on the silver. This was put right onto the silver. But look at the difference when you put that black on there. The black background just gives it a richness, makes it look more vintage. I love that. All right, we're going to set these aside and let them just chillax.
Okay, we're going to speed this portion up just a little bit because it's pretty much exactly what we did with the last cuff. Just adding the B7000 glue to the inside of the cuff. And once you get a good amount on there, because the felt will soak up a lot of that glue, so I just kind of spread it out with my finger really well and then clean off my finger with a little rubbing alcohol. Then taking my pre-cut strip, I fold it in the middle and start in the middle of the underside of the cuff and glue it down. Then just trim around the rounded ends and you're ready for the front part. Okay, so Susie messed up just a little bit, and here I realized what I did. I was supposed to put the front part on first and wrap it around the back side of the cuff, and then put on the felt. But I got to talking and put the cart before the horse. Anyway, I'm going to show you how I did the front part. I just glued it and laid the velvet right over the top, just like I did the back, leaving one little portion at the end unglued so that I could touch the bracelet without getting my fingers all full of glue. Once I get the top on, I just go ahead and glue that little portion at the end. And I'm going to wrap that velvet around to the back side of the cuff on either end. And it's kind of just like wrapping a package. I wrapped it and then I snipped off the corners so it just cut out the bulk in the back. And then I was able, once that was removed, I was able to do the sides and lay those down with glue. And as I said, ideally putting the velvet down first and then laying the felt over the back would have been perfect. But because I forgot to do that, I will have to lay an extra layer of the felt over the burgundy velvet underneath after this is completed. And that'll be fine. I'll just need to pull open the cuff just slightly so that it doesn't seem like it's too small of a fit. My wrist is a 6.5 inch and these cuffs fit me perfectly with a little room to spare. And you can pull them open slightly and you can squeeze them together if you need to for a smaller wrist as well. Okay, so here to expedite matters, I grab my clothespins so that I can fold over one side and glue it. And while it's setting up, which sets up pretty quickly, the B7000, I'm just going to take the clothespins and hold it together really, really well on one side while I go ahead and put the B7000 along the other side. Someone said it looked like a new jewelry fad. And while it's drying, I'm going to go ahead with a little bit of rubbing alcohol and I'm going to shine up the other piece, all the rhinestones, and make it sparkle. And after a few minutes wait time, I go ahead and glue the other side down with a B7000. And what I end up doing is gluing it and then taking the clothespins from one side and transferring them to the other side while it adheres to the felt underneath. It's a pretty simple process, just takes a little time, just a few minutes really, for that B7000 to start setting up where you can remove the clothespins. And here I decide to expedite the process a little bit and heat it up with my heat tool. A little warm air usually makes the process a little quicker. And we can get to the fun part, the bling. Then remove the clothespins and you're ready to decorate the front.
Okay. How pretty. They're pretty. Love that. All right. Let's get back to the bling factor. I almost want to use this dangly one, even though I used the dangly one on this. It just looks so different on this piece here. Does it not? Isn't that gorgeous? That little pearl with the dangle. I love that. It's so pretty. I'm thinking about it. Although any of these pieces are stunning with this. Stunning. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this bigger piece on in the middle. Or this one of the two. They're pretty much the same. Kind of like this one where it's a little more fancy. And then put two smaller ones on the end. Actually, I've got two matching ones. So I can put one here and one here. I think I'll do that. Crisis averted.
Okay, because you've seen me do this already with the other one, I'm going to fast forward it a little bit. I'm going to put the bigger centerpiece on with the B7000 and a little hot glue to hold it in place. And I love this antique bronze on that burgundy. It just really makes it pop. And truthfully, I love all of these
I love
pieces.
all these pieces. I'm
They
probably
are
going to end
just
up making
stunning. The antique bronze looks great on all of the darker jewel tone colors, and it really elevates a piece, I think. And I also think that it would be really beautiful to use some of the cameos on these, and even maybe make some chokers with the cameos. We have so many beautiful new pieces in the Totally Dazzled collection. And as I mentioned, I am an ambassador for Totally Dazzled, and I will leave a link to my affiliate link in the description of this video. But be forewarned, there are a lot of beautiful pieces over there. Kind of hard to make a decision sometimes. But that's where you can get really creative with these pieces and make one-of-a-kind jewelry that you can either sell or wow your friends and family with.
All right. I think I will. I've got, it doesn't have to be this felt. I've got ribbon. I've got black grosgrain ribbon. And what I could do is, because the grosgrain, I can stop it from fraying. Oh, I could probably do that with this too. Over the edge, just put a little tiny bit over the edge there. So it would stop it from fraying there. Or I can glue it. We'll see. Anyway, at any rate, how cute. I don't know if I want to put it on just yet, because I tried it earlier with this bracelet, and this thing started sliding. I went, oh, good grief. I've had it sitting here for 5 minutes. You think it would be set, but it wasn't. So I don't want to take the chance, especially with this velvet, of it coming out and running the velvet. So we'll just wait. We'll just be patient and wait. What I can do, actually, is just briefly go over it with a little bit of alcohol on the pretty parts, on the shiny parts here. And that's all it takes, seriously. And it just boom, makes a huge difference. Honestly, look at all the pretty. Isn't it gorgeous? That piece right there is so pretty and vintage. And against that velvet, I just think it's stunning. So pretty, right? So you've got this style. You've got this style where I didn't put anything on the top. I just left it silver. And I added the rhinestones around the edge here. And I just added this little dangle piece in the middle here. I love this. I think this is a really pretty piece. A little dangle piece like that. Or you've got this gorgeous black and antique bronze metal. I love that. So anyway, oh, in this one, don't forget this one. You get your wire like this, and you create a little hook. Let me show you how to do that hook. It's easy. You just go like this, turn it in like that, turn it in like that. One hook's got to be bigger than the other, like that. Stick one in like that, and then close up the two hooks. Hold on, let me close up this hook. And you take this one, and you close it up. So they're hooked together like that. See there? Just like that. And you form your bracelet. This is soft wire. Get it at Hobby Lobby. You can get it at Michael's. You can get it at the Dollar Tree sometimes. It's floral wire, I believe it's called, floral wire. But I've done these bracelets like this for years with them. And see, now you've got a bracelet. You can form it to the size of your wrist. And what you do is you take this, you can take fabric, or I use felt with this one. And I sandwiched the wire in between the felt, like one felt on this side, one on the other, trimmed it around, and then added my fabric to the top, and then my applique. Now, we don't have appliques right now, Totally Dazzled. We may in the future, but in the meantime, there's the bows. You've got the beautiful bow packs. You've got the cameos, and you've got even the fleur-de-lis. That one fleur-de-lis, that big one, is really pretty. There's all kinds of larger pieces that you could use in a bracelet, such as this one. So anyway, it's one of my favorites. I love it. It needs washing. I need to try and clean it up a little bit because it is white, so it gets dirty. But honestly, so many things that you can do with your Totally Dazzled pieces, you guys. Get those packs while you can. I think some of the patriotic packs are going to be reordered, so keep hang on tight for that. And we've got some new fun things coming out this summer coming your way, so hang on for that. Hang on to your hat. There's a bunch of them coming your way soon. So thank you so much for being with me, you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Love you all so very much. I think I'm going to be live again for Craft Around the Clock. I believe it's on Thursday. I could be wrong, and I probably am. I don't know what weighs up anymore, you guys. This is the truth. I'm just going to be flat honest with you. I don't even know. But anyway, have a great rest of your night, and I will see you again sometime this week, I promise. And if you're not following me at Bellalina Boutique, you might want to, because then you're going to find out when I'm going to go live next. I promise I'll put it on my page. All right, guys, have a great night. Love you. Bye. Whoops, can't reach you. Come here.